Well, hello, beautiful people. It's me, Sam, from your friendly neighborhood Dunder Mifflin Paper Company, and I'm here to talk about the whole thing with Jonathan Majors. And a lot of people are comparing it to Ezra Miller, so I'm gonna kind of give my thoughts on that as well. First of all, I saw Jonathan Majors in the film like way before it was um, like kind of want to say cool to like him, but before he blew up in The Last Black Man in San Francisco. And I'm sorry, the faucet is leaking. You can hear it there. Kind of sounds like music. He was incredible in the film The Last Black Man in San Francisco, and ever since then he's easily been one of my top three favorite actors working in the past 5 years or so. I mean, he's phenomenal. As an actor, I love him. I think he's great. He's a great talent. Now, with everything going on, there's really three things. Really, one, he could be innocent. Two, he could be guilty, right? And three is kind of a gray area in that maybe there are some truths and maybe there are some falses to everything. Um, maybe yeah, there was a situation where there was a lot of yelling, and this is just what I think, maybe like a possibility. um but there wasn't any violence, or it could be there could have been violence. I'm not saying that there wasn't any violence, but so that's the possibilities. And right now, I know the lawyers put out the whole text conversation, from the woman involved, which, if it is true, that's terrible, extremely terrible. And from my opinion, from what it looked like, it wasn't enough to tell me if there was something like if there was violence going on, but I did pick up, and this is just my opinion, don't get all worked up. I did feel like there was maybe a case of maybe this was a toxic relationship of some sort, but that's just from that conversation. We don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we're just like window shopping. We're just walking by, we don't know the situation. We don't know the context of everything. So these are just our opinions. This is just my opinion, what I'm giving. But I think that in some ways, like, Disney's in a tough spot, because they don't want to just let him go. I mean, they've learned the hard way. Look at what happened with James Gunn. They released him, they let him go for tweets that he put up years ago, and then they brought him back. So I think they're kind of trying to play it smart, at least more smart than the last time, where they're just kind of waiting, seeing where things go. Apparently, Jonathan Majors has been dropped from a lot of upcoming roles, or upcoming movies, and upcoming projects, which is sad, because it's so easy to just kind of like, it's like they say, it takes a lifetime to build a reputation, and it takes like 10 seconds to kind of just ruin all that, and so, like, it's sad, because I've loved his story. I mean, he comes from a single household mom, like a mom, who's single, and he didn't really have a good relationship with his father. If I mistake it, I could be wrong, or maybe he didn't know his father. But it is kind of sad, man. I mean, it sucks, because he was like an underdog. And if it is true also, with more women are coming out, and more directors are coming out saying, yeah, it's terrible working with him, and so yeah, I had a buddy who worked on the set of Lovecraft Country, and although he didn't officially meet him, he was around him, he would see him from afar, and he worked on set, and from what he said, I mean, it was never anything negative, but that's just from what my buddy said. And I mean, I take him for his word. We don't know. We're not on set. We don't know the details of that. Yeah, I'm just kind of bummed. And a lot of people are comparing it to Ezra Miller. And here's the thing: I've loved Ezra Miller since The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I thought he was great, and I thought he gave a Best Supporting Actor nomination worthy performance for We Need to Talk About Kevin, which is a great and very dark and very disturbing movie. If you haven't seen that movie, it will knock your socks off. I mean, it stars Tilda Swinton as well. But getting off track, it's strange because I feel like if Flash the movie had not been, if it's this incredible movie, and if it had not been this incredible movie, I think they would have just kind of put it on streaming and just scrapped the whole thing and just found another Flash immediately. But the fact that the movie apparently is this great, one of the best comic book movies ever made, so I've heard and read. I think they're just kind of like waiting, and a lot of people are saying, oh, well, why are they, jumping the gun on Jonathan Majors and not really doing the same kind of thing to Ezra Miller? Well, here's the thing. I mean, Ezra Miller hasn't been starring in any recent movies. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think he has any big roles coming up either. So it's not like he's getting these roles after everything he's done. And, it's done. I feel like for the past few years, it's just nonstop Ezra Miller news. And it's just like this guy, I mean, he just needs to take a break. He needs to go to therapy. He needs to get well. Because not only was he assaulting people, I feel like mentally the people he came across, it's just any relationship he's had has been very toxic and just very disturbing. And so, I hate to bring this up, because it's not that I'm on the fence about it. I don't fully believe, I don't think it's certainly this, but I do think that it's a touchy topic. Race really does come to it, because it just seemed like, and this is just from my opinion, from what I've seen, that when Jonathan Majors, everything happened, he lost everything immediately within weeks, and people were so quick to attack, whereas if I'm not mistaken, with Ezra Miller, it wasn't as bad as that. And yet, not to compare the both, because both were terrible, but I mean, Ezra Miller did some pretty effed up stuff, and you would think man, it just wasn't the same reaction. And I find that crazy. And I mean, it's kind of hard not to think well, maybe it was a situation of at least not the full thing, but maybe a part of it was race. And I know people are going to say, oh no, it's not that. And, it could not be that, but I think it's something that needs to be, considered, because I just the whole thing with Ezra Miller, it baffles me, man. I'm just how did he and yeah, he has his own court stuff going on, but it just seems like the fallout from him, it wasn't nearly as bad as what's happening with Jonathan Majors. So overall, those are my brief thoughts. I don't want to make this a very long video, I just, it's sad, man. It's sad, and it sucks if that's true, what's going on with Jonathan Majors. I love him as an actor, and he always seemed, especially when he talked about his mom, that he was a really, really good, down to earth person. And I hope this is false. But if it's true, man, then I don't know. It's just, it sucks, man, and I feel sorry for all the victim, the woman, and if there's more victims, the victims. I feel sorry for them, and yeah, I mean. Love him as an actor, and the same for Ezra Miller. I love him as an actor, but there's no way they're gonna keep him as Flash. They can't. If they do, I'm gonna just wow, anything can happen. Anybody can do anything and get away with it. If they keep him as Flash, he keeps going. I don't know what I'll be in total shock if they keep him as Flash. But those are just my thoughts, guys. This is just my opinion. I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm right. You're right, I'm wrong. I'm just, these are just my opinions. Give your thoughts. I'm not trying to fight with anyone, argue. These are just my thoughts. Keep it respectful. Keep it let's just have some very good conversations. All right, good comments. If you disagree with me, that's fine, you know. But I'm not saying that you're right or wrong. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. So keep that in mind. Try to keep a very positive vibe going on. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. You know, brief words, not a long video. I mean, 10 minutes, almost 11. So guys, thank you so much and take care. And I hope you give this a watch, and I hope you give this a comment with your thoughts.